Chuck Schumer tried to pull an all-nighter in the Senate to protest Trump's first 100 days. He accused 47 of being a mob boss, but he couldn't last. They gave it up at midnight. And after getting called out on his 17% favorability rating, Schumer was back embarrassing his party today, and he brought some friends.
Donald Trump's first 100 days can be defined by one big F word: failure.
This is not Joe Biden's economy, Donald. It is your economy. It is the Trump economy. It is a failed economy.
But at least they're wrangling the hog. According to a new report, the DNC could vote to oust their vice chair, David Hogg, after he vowed to primary old guard Democrats. They're going to hear a challenge next month by a Native American DNC member. Hogg also facing the wrath of Carville.
What is your plan to deal with our abominable approval rating?
Win elections. Win elections.
Judge Jeanine Pirro, when you're supposed to do an all-nighter, does it count if you go to bed before midnight?
Yes. I got to tell you, the whole thing is laughable. I mean, the guy says he's going to do an all-nighter, and he's got to go to sleep at midnight. I mean, come on. Your favorability rating is 17%. You can't stay up. And then, you know, you actually, it's time for him to go. And for him to not have anything to say. I mean, think about it, Jesse. How many presidents did he work for or when he was in the Congress? I think in the 80s. So you had Reagan, and then you had the first Bush, and then Clinton, and the second Bush, and then you had Obama, and then you had Trump. That's 7 presidents. And the best idea he's got is to do an all-nighter, and he can't even do that. You know, this is why you've got people like Hogg who are interested in taking these people out. And you look at the Republican Party, and we've got people like Thune and Mike Johnson, and you know, people with energy. And our president, who is actually older than Chuck Schumer, he can run circles around him, you know, from now until, you know, next year. It really is a question of whether or not they've got the energy and the intellect, as well as the ideas for the Democrat Party. And ironically, the Democrat Party is that they're failing at masculinity, they're failing at intellect, they don't know what to do. Donald Trump is crushing them.
Jessica, Dave Hogg's going to get cooed by a Native American. I don't need to know anything else. I'm for the Native American. They deserve it.
That actually shocks me. I think it's the first time that you've ever said something like that. You're on the side of the Native Americans.
Something nonsensical is that?
No, that happened a lot yesterday even. And I miss you here. It feels very empty over here to my left. The Democratic Party we're fixing ourselves. We don't have a unified leadership structure, a lot of different voices that are making an impact and connecting with people, but give us a little bit of time and we'll find our footing. Donald Trump is working at a breakneck pace, and as usual, we've got to keep up with it. But I do think that if they move forward with this big, beautiful bill, that will be a tremendous opportunity for the Democrats, because the $880 billion in cuts to Medicaid, if it goes through as it is now, will be the undoing of the Republican Party in the midterms. There are a number of swing district Republicans who have hundreds of thousands more people on Medicaid in their districts than the margins that they won by. People like David Valadao in California, who's had concerns about this bill, Mike Lawler here in New York. And if the Republicans make them take that vote to get the big tax cuts, to balloon the deficit, explode it, balloon it, however you want to say it, and they're going to have people in their districts losing their Medicaid, there is no way that the Democrats don't retake the House in 2026 and have a chance of picking up some important Senate seats as well.
Dana, she's making a lot of predictions today. A lot of predictions.
I didn't say blue wave, I'm not like a red wave rider like you have been, but I'm just saying don't take away people's health care. They don't like that.
Does it matter if they're legal or illegal?
Even though Obama took it away. Let's get Dana in.
Oh.
Dana,
okay, so I
think
ahead. She's wrong on a couple of things, and here's
Dana.
A point. I'm sorry. But I'm within. I'm not within striking distance, so I'm going to take my shot. Okay, so first of all, what the Democrats are talking about in terms of the big, beautiful bill is that they want to deny a middle-class tax cut. So, first of all, I do not believe that President Trump is going to sign a bill that cuts Medicaid. I don't believe it. And I think that the Democrats are going to go into this saying that's always going to happen or that your Social Security is going to get cut. None of those things ever end up turning out to be true. They are the scare tactics. But if you start telling people who are already souring on this economy, and one of the reasons the president's numbers are down, that across the board that the Democrats want to deny a middle-class tax cut and all those taxes are going to increase as well, I don't care what they do on Medicaid. That is like one of the worst ideas. And some numbers came out yesterday, since we apparently like numbers on the show today. The NRCC, that's the Republican congressional arm, they did 100-day polling. And the congressional ballot for the midterm of 2026 is 6 points closer than it usually is. What does that tell you? To me, it says the Democrats, one, have no ideas. Two, they're so unpopular and so uncool that even for people who think, I don't really love what's going on in the first 100 days of the Trump administration, they're not going over to the Democrats, and they don't have a lot of time to make that up.
Greg, the Schumer F-bomb joke bombed. You know how that feels.
I do. I felt very bad for him. You know, he should just emulate Joe, walk toward the light, trade in AOC for a visiting angel. It's embarrassing. You know, the 100 days of the Dems, it's worse than watching paint dry. It's like watching sour milk curdle. They're not getting any better. I'm with Jesse on the Native American. You know, she's citing fairness and gender diversity as a reason to eject Hogg. I'm with her. I mean, how do they pick another white guy born of white privilege? I mean, first they're bringing back Columbus Day, and now they're doing this. You know, if he wants to live by the woke, he's got to die by the woke. You know, it's like a cannibal covered in peanut butter. The Democrats are eating themselves. And that's where the real chaos is. They keep projecting chaos. They are possessed with chaos because the ideology of identity politics has created this internal competition, this bitter competition between who is the most aggrieved, you know, who has victim status, and they can't agree on it. The only thing that can unite them is their distaste for Trump. But that's not enough. And that's why Republicans under Trump are thriving, because they're not looking at each other. They're looking outward at the world with shared experiences, trying to see what problem they can solve, rather than looking at each other and saying, that's not fair. I deserve that job.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.